Now it's my pleasure to call up to the stage the winners of the Future Maritime Leaders essay competition, as well as the chair of the committee that oversaw that competition, Christine Lowe, Simon Tersoo, Line Fried Hofmansen, and Jackie Zhang. Please welcome them to the stage, our Future Maritime Leaders. Welcome. Have a seat. Hi, Christine. So great to see you. Thanks. All right. Welcome. Welcome. Christine, let's go ahead and start with you. What can the maritime community learn from the essays that were submitted to the Future Maritime Leaders essay competition? Another microphone. Back up. Thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll try again.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
It was my great privilege to actually be chairing the committee. And so I met many essays. The thing that struck me was, I'm an outsider to the maritime industry. And, we think about ships, I guess, and ports, but maybe we don't understand outside the industry how extensive the industry is and how many sectors it touches upon. And this particular essay competition really opened my eyes to the broad range of talent that is needed to drive the industry. And
yeah.
I think as you talk to the three winners, you see how different they are. And I think at least for outsiders, we don't often understand that to run and to progress any particular industry, how many people and talent it really takes. So I think when you ask the three winners to talk about who they are and what they did, you'd be amazed to find out just the broad talent that there are and the role that they serve in taking the industry forward.
That's terrific. That's terrific. Simon, let's go ahead and start with you. So you started your maritime career as an officer on an oil tanker, correct?
That's right.
And now you hold a shore-based position at the Nigerian Maritime Administration and the Safety Agency. So my question to you is, what attracted you to become a seafarer and then to transition and continue your career on land?
Okay. Frankly speaking, I had no background knowledge of the maritime industry before I got into it. I joined the industry through a program called the Nigerian Seafarers Development Program. And initially, my intentions were, why don't you just get out of your country and travel all over the world? But today, I'm not thinking about how to travel the world. I'm thinking about how can I be able to contribute to the industry. By picking up a shore job was a privilege that was given to me by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. And I come to appreciate this opportunity so much because it has given me more insight into the industry, some of the opportunities and the challenges and the prospects, and most importantly, how I can be able to participate in the industry. And that is why I appreciate the Global Maritime Forum for giving me this opportunity. I know it's not like I've done anything special to deserve to be here, but I share in this idea that the future of the industry is as bright as we all make it. And that's a call for every one of us here to take responsibility for the future that we want to leave for the next generation. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's excellent. In your essay, which I read, by the way, and loved it, you wrote about the need to train seafarers for the digital future. Can you briefly describe to us the idea in your essay?
Well, autonomous ships and some of these disruptive technologies that are coming into the industry are not only beneficial to the shipping companies and other stakeholders like the shipbuilders and so on, they're also going to help us as seafarers. I'm saying because I'm also a seafarer. They're going to help us to overcome most of the challenges that we face out there at sea. But this cannot happen until we begin to prepare these seafarers towards that future. And to be able to do this, we have to first of all reflect these identified needs and the requirements in the STCW Convention, and also to reorganize the curriculum of maritime training institutions. As we may all be aware, the future of the industry is in dire need of a completely new breed of seafarers. The whole process is going to culminate into what I describe as the digital seafarers. By that, I mean people who are going to sit ashore, like we are sitting right here, and take the ship to sea and back safely. And to do this, they have to comply with all the applicable regulations and carry out all the conventional functions of the traditional seafarers. And they have to envisage themselves to be on board these ships to carry out these jobs safely. And to support that, we also need to provide bridging courses that will help those who are already in the system to transit safely into the autonomous shipping era. I believe that if we are able to do that, the future of these seafarers and the industry can be more secured. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you. Let's move to Line. So you hold a position as a management consultant at PA Consulting, which allows you to look in at the maritime industry from outside and compare it with other industries. So my question to you is, what is it that drew your interest towards the maritime industry in particular?
Yeah. So I think being from Denmark, I mean, we're surrounded by the sea, and the industry is such an important and large economic contributor, which in itself makes it very exciting. I think having said that, also some of the topics that we discuss in all industries, technological development and the sustainability agenda, are particularly interesting in the shipping industry. First of all, because it's a conservative industry, but also because it's a heavy asset industry and a highly consolidated industry, which makes it difficult for outsiders to enter the industry and force disruption on the current business model. In the same way that we've seen in banking, for instance, where fintech startups have sort of entered the industry and forced banks to rethink the way they design their business models. So I think the willingness to change and the willingness to embark on new business models have to come from the inside of the industry. And I personally believe that's an extremely exciting journey to take part in. And it's also an reason why we're here, I guess, and why this forum is a super exciting place to be.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. In your essay, you argue that the maritime industry could leverage the role that it plays in global trade to support the development of what you call circular economies. Can you elaborate a bit on that?
Yeah, so I think part of the sustainability agenda has been focused on the disadvantages of trade, which I think is a shame. And I think there's a lot of benefits of trade that allows countries to have comparative advantages, and I think instead of focusing on the disadvantages, we should look at ways to achieve the advantages in a more sustainable way. Circular economy is one way to do this, because you focus on creating systems that has a circular flow of resources and allow the resources to return to the supply chain once the consumer decides to replace the products. But in order to establish the systems, you need an infrastructure that can support it. And you need an integrator that is fully connected to everyone in the supply chain. And I believe the shipping industry is one industry that has the size and the connectivity to everyone in the supply chain to achieve this role, and also to actually be a driver of more sustainable ways of driving global supply chains, and thus achieving sustainable ways of trade.
Terrific. I just want to remind you that our 3 essay competition winners will be spending the entire 2 days with us. So over this period of time, I do hope that you come up and engage them and delve deeper into their areas of expertise and their ideas for the future. Thank you very much. Let's now turn to Jackie. Jackie, you are a Ph.D. student of environmental science, policy, and management. So what made you decide to write your thesis on the complexity of shipping emissions control?
Thank you. I became interested in the maritime industry because I'm essentially problem solver and environmentalist with a desire to make positive changes on an international level. And shipping emissions control is thus an ideal case study for me to take on. And now with higher standards of environmental performance, the long-standing maritime industry is now facing new challenges and new opportunities. Personally, this really makes me excited. I'm very interested in seeing what I can do and help this industry evolve with responsibility in the coming years.
Terrific. And then in your essay, you present a very specific solution to the problem of shipping emissions. Could you share that with us, please?
Sure. The trading scheme I propose is a market-driven strategy for shipping emissions control. So in these schemes, location-specific emission caps and allowances will be quantified by looking at where these emissions coming from and when these come from on the shipping rules. So nowadays, most ships should have AIS installed on board. So with the AIS data at high resolution, we are able to quantify the shipping emissions within a specific port or territorial waters. And with such quantifications, the port authorities are able to issue allowances to the ships. And these allowances could be tradable in the market. So nowadays, stricter regulations on shipping emissions is in process globally and regionally. But the policy schedules and the specific emission standards vary according to regions and governance level. So this scheme is trying to provide flexibilities for the regulation compliance during policy transitions, as well as financial incentives for the industry toward a greener business. This would be the first trading scheme to target the global mobile emission sources. So your inputs and feedbacks are very important and welcome. So feel free to contact me if you have any comments and suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's go ahead and close with Christine. What a job you had reading all the essays that came in, all of the thought leadership that's out there. What did you come away with, the value of listening to these new voices in our global maritime industry?
Well, first of all, you learn quite a lot. And as you can see from the 3 winners, they're quite diverse. Here is a technically explained emissions trading scheme for ships. Then we had another essay that talked about how young seafarers, how to get them to change the industry. And then we have a management consultant, again, looking at what you can do with the trading products themselves. So 3 very different ways, but they're solutions-oriented. They're well-argued. There's an intellectual content. There's an innovation content. And you can see from speaking to the 3 winners, there's energy that young people have that we all once had.
Still have.
No, I mean, I'm being serious about this, yes? So they are bright-minded, they have new ideas, and my God, they want to contribute to this industry. So I would say that grab these young people, and in fact, it's a really amazing idea for the Global Maritime Forum to use this methodology to try to flush out what's out there amongst young people. So this is what's come back in the first year. There were, 150 entries. I would say the top dozen essays connect with these young people. Grab all of them today And thank you, Global Maritime Forum. Let's go forward. Let's dig out more young people. And let's see the leadership of the shipping industry, the maritime industry is sitting right here. Again, the conversation about how we can really work with talent, how to bring them into your community, into your company, into your associations would be such a great start.
Absolutely, absolutely. Everyone, please join me in thanking our future maritime leaders and Christine Lowe for the many contributions. Thank you. Thank you so much. Terrific. Christine, thank you.